The Sandra Bland death, I had to think for a minute what word I wanted to use. The Sandra Bland death, her arrest, the arrogance and the bullying and the brutality and the racism of the Texas cop who stopped her, all of it right there on video. And it was just shocking, especially when the cop son of a bitch told her to get out of the car or he would light her up. That means electrocute her with a taser. Now, I've had this experience before. No, not as a black woman facing down a white cop. No. But Kathy and I, this was long ago. I think we were just dating. Kathy and I and a friend of ours who was visiting from California, from Venice, we'd gone to a concert. And we were on our way home. I forget who the artist was. We were on our way home down one of the main streets in Atlanta. And I moved from one lane to another and didn't use my turn signal. And within seconds, I had the blue light behind me. And I pulled over. And the cop came to the window. And he said, "Do you know why I stopped you?" And I honestly didn't in that moment. I said, "No, I know I wasn't speeding." He said, "You changed lanes without using your turn signal." And I looked at him and I said, "Oh, must be a slow night tonight, huh?" Remember that? Which might have been a wrong thing for me to say, but I said it. Now, had I been a black man, absolutely it would have been, or a black woman, absolutely the wrong thing to say, because my implication was, "You miserable bastard, you got no crime in Atlanta, you're going to pull me over." And it was a main drag. It wasn't a highway. It was main, East Ponce de Leon, coming out of downtown Atlanta, going out to Stone Mountain. And when I said, "Boy, it must be a slow night," grin, he kind of looked at me, and he said, "I see your driver's license, registration, and insurance." Well, it just so happened that it was one of the times in my life when I had all three. And I got a ticket, right? I don't think I went to court. I mailed in. I think I just mailed in $85 or whatever it was. But when, and the cop that pulled me over, now granted, there were three of us in the car. We're all Caucasian. But when I watched that cop pull Sandra Bland over, and I watched what his attitude was, especially when he said, "Put out your cigarette." I mean, what the hell is that? He didn't say, "Ma'am, you know that smoking's bad for you. You might want to put out that cigarette." That's not what the issue. No, this was a power trip. This was the arrogance. This is what I've come to understand that black folk deal with 24/7, 365.
Get out of the car!
And then
I will light you up. Get out!
Wow.
Now! You mind putting out your cigarette, please?
I'm in my car. Why do I have to put out my cigarette?
Well, you can step on out now.
I don't have to step out of my car.
Step out of the car.
You're about to break my wrist. Can you stop? You are about to fucking break my wrist. Stop!
Stop now! On your butt.
Slam my head into the ground.
Sit
Do
up
not
on your
even
butt.
care about
Listen
that.
to how he's telling you to get
I
up.
can't even hear.
I mean, I don't have seriously body injury, but I was kicked.
For a failure to signal. You're doing all of this for
Get
a failure.
over there.
Right, yeah. Yeah, let's take this to court. Let's do
Go ahead.
For a failure to signal. Yep.
doesn't stop. And with all the stuff that's been going on in the past, just recently, you don't have to go back in history, just in the past 18 months, 2 years, 2.5 years, all the violence against black people by cops, I have to admire Sandra Bland's courage when she told this cop. Now, yes, it was courage. How it evolved is something, I guess, that's going to take some time to come to terms with. But I'm talking about in the moment. The woman's courage. Here she is, a black woman by herself in Texas with a white cop standing next to her. And the pressure started from the cop, started immediately. And I watched, when he told her to get out of the car and she asked why. She said, I'm not under arrest. How can you tell me? He said, you are under arrest. And she said, for what? And he had some half-assed answer. I mean, this is really something to watch and to internalize if you can do it. It's very difficult, if not impossible, for for people not of color, for Caucasians, to really get what goes on in that moment, where a black or Latino or Asian person all of a sudden is confronted with a white cop, especially in certain parts of the country. We know this is true. I'm not coming up with news flashes here. I'm not giving you any original program content here. We know this is true. And for the white folk who don't know it's true, you ought to smarten up just a tad. I remember one time recently, within the past 2 or 3 years, we were driving in the suburbs of Atlanta, in DeKalb County. And I tried to beat a red light. Remember this? We were out on Jimmy Carter Boulevard. I tried to beat a red light, and I didn't. Went through on red, and heavy traffic, late in the afternoon. Pew, here comes the blue light. And the cop who pulled me over, black cop, DeKalb County Police, and DeKalb County is known for all sorts of corruption. I don't care if it's the water department, the school board, the police department, the county commission. It's worse than anything you can imagine in the stereotypical precincts in New Jersey or Chicago. I mean, DeKalb County, Georgia is one of the most corrupt in America. So I'm sitting there, and the cop comes up the window, and he says, you know why I pulled you over? They always say, you know why I pulled you over, black cop? And I said, yes, sir, I do. He said, why? I said, because I ran the red light. I said, I thought I could beat it. And he said, see your driver's license and registration. I gave it to him. Walked back to his car. About a minute later, 2 minutes later, he comes back. He says, okay, I'm just going to let you go. He said, and this is what he said, right, Kathy? I don't like to give people tickets. Now, running a red light in DeKalb County can be a $150 fine. He said, I'm going to let you go with a warning. He said, just pay more attention. He said, I noticed your child in the back seat when you, and he took a minute to educate me. And I know this, but the cop took a moment to educate me. He said, when you try to beat a red light like that, there may be somebody else trying to beat it coming from the other direction, and kaboom, you have a wreck. You've got I guess Molly was about 8. You got a young child in the back. That's your wife. That's your wife sitting over there. And that's what came up on Alex Witt's program today. The former was it Maryland State Patrolman, black guy who had been a state patrolman for 20 plus years. He said that the cop that pulled Sandra Bland over had a perfect opportunity, a teachable moment, where he could have said to her, well, the reason you put on your turn signal when you change lanes is just in case somebody is behind you, just let people know what you're doing. He could have done that. But this son of a bitch chose not to. He chose to be a white Southern cop with a single black woman under his thumb. And the rest of the video, when she finally does get out of the car, when he threatens her, I cannot imagine a cop, black or white, saying to me, because, see, I'm a white male, I cannot imagine a cop saying to me, get out of the car or I'm going to light you up. What? Now, if I was a suspect in a bank robbery down the street, okay. If there was a reason, but a lane change without a turn signal, get out of the car or I'm going to light you up. What the hell? I've never heard that expression before. I'm going to electrocute you. And then she said, at one point, she said, I'm epileptic. And he said, good. What a son of a bitch. What a total bastard. On so many levels in this particular case. Boy, I'll tell you, it just doesn't seem to stop, does it?